Brandon Curry.
Brandon Curry.
Brandon Curry.
Brandon Curry.
The champ is in the building. The 15th, Mr. Olympia, Brandon Curry.
And new Mr. Olympia, Brandon Curry.
Oh God, here goes. I'm not start feeling from my head to my toes.
What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and this is the first interview of my Olympia Series one-on-ones, and it's with none other than your 2019 Mr. Olympia, a man who's finished top 2 in the Mr. Olympia 3 years running, multiple-time Arnold Classic champion. I'm pleased to welcome Brandon Curry back to Desktop Bodybuilding. My friend, how are you doing?
Oh, it's been great, man. It's been great. Feeling good. It's been a nice, chill, productive prep so far. So no stress for me right now. No stress.
Yeah. A lot of the off-season, your off-season, people like, because they don't hear as much from you, they start thinking, is Brandon retired? I mean, all of a sudden you're out there in Kuwait, and I sort of knew, you was competing. But it was cool to now when everyone sees this video, and I'll put it up on the screen, everyone's like, oh, Brandon Curry now. But before, like, people weren't even talking about you, man. It was crazy that there's such a gap, in people actually, mentioning you.
Yeah, that's the nature of the internet, of course. It's one of those things that if they don't see you, if you're not active on the social media, they don't think you exist, or you're not posting new updates. At least they don't think you exist. So for me, it's
like you're not live anymore.
It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. I mean, of course, this weekend Rami made his announcement at the Dubai Pro about not competing in Olympia, but until athlete officially does that, I don't think you should count them out for competing in the show, especially not an already automatically qualified athlete like myself.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, you've got that beauty where you're not committed to doing any show through the year ever in your life. You're just in the Olympia no matter what. So it's a nice luxury to have. But man, these updates are 7.5 weeks out, and to me, it looks, I don't know what you think in terms of conditioning compared to last year's Mr. Olympia. How do you think you're conditioning at 7.5 weeks out, which is when these were? We're now 5.5 weeks out. How do you think your conditioning here matches compared to the Olympia?
We have a comparison videos of the same time period, and we're definitely ahead. Definitely a lot harder, more separation. Just leaner in general. Muscle fullness is still there. Last year we came in bigger than what was typically previous year, but we're still carrying the size, still carrying the fullness, but just everything's just harder. So that was a goal. I'm trying to bring a harder, leaner physique into this Olympia. So we're on par with that. We're comfortable where we are right now, and I just keep getting leaner. I sent you another video from like a few. I think it was 3 days later. I think on a Wednesday. So that'll be about 7 weeks, almost 7 weeks out. But
it just came up on my phone now, so I'll try to get it up on the stream in a minute.
Yeah, it's loading, but you can see I'm already a lot even leaner just in some days from this shot. But we shot it on a shoulder day, and we just did some updates just to check, just to see if I need to eat free feed or whatever. And yeah, I'm already leaner, and we should. That's more footage coming out. It should be soon. I won't drop the ball on that because I don't know when this is going to come out. But with another athlete, I was able to do some video filming with another athlete this weekend, and he has some stuff that's going up on his YouTube channel. So that should be pretty good because we did some posing at the end after we trained. So get to see, kind of where I am at that 6 weeks out phase. So
you have to tell me where that is, man. That's coming out on.
yeah. I mean, it's some updates coming up. I mean, actually, he dropped the tease in his feed yesterday. So it's a guy who's actively competed here recently. So he's definitely a post show looking good. Yeah.
Regan.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's I've got to say, you're looking awesome, and it seems like everyone says, oh, Brandon just needs to come in big like he was last year, but like super hard. And it's like, well, that's not the easiest thing to do. It's easier said than done. But are you leaning more towards, are you hoping that you're able to bring the fullness of last year? Because you were super big, super big last year, or at least a part of that fullness, and then bring it in tight like you did of a few years prior.
Yeah, I mean that's traditionally the goal, but we're not really focused on just the scale weight as much as we were last year because Rami was really the top dog last year. We thought he was going to come in and be the guy who really pushed the limit and be the standard, but that really wasn't the case. With the current lineup, conditioning will definitely be the priority, and I'll let the muscle bellies and the natural fullness that I have carry me out through the rest of the time. I guess a lot of people are looking for that Arnold 2019 look, but I think I can duplicate that look with a little bit more fullness in the physique as well this year.
Yeah, I think so as well, man. Like because you're definitely bigger now than you were back then. I think.
hmm Yeah, definitely at that phase. I'm definitely bigger now. We keep and the weight doesn't move much right now. It doesn't move much at all. It's just I just keep getting better condition. Just keep getting better and better condition week by week now. So we're at this good point to where everything's working in the right direction, and I'm not having to. I'm not starving yet or anything. I'm not doing a whole bunch of cardio, but the body keeps getting better and better. So I think keeping the stress down, not overworking myself, has been working in my favor. Last year I was a bit overworked for the amount of food I was eating. I think at the time, so we kind of corrected that this year. So going to this year, the body's just a lot fresher, looks a lot fresher, and it's just a lot harder. So not holding as much water on a daily basis.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's showing in your updates. How did you look when you went out to Kuwait this time versus like last year and previous years?
Oh, Abdullah, he was on me. He said, just don't come to Kuwait small. Just don't come to Kuwait small. So when I showed up, first time look he had at me, he was like, okay, okay. He's like, okay, you didn't come small. Okay, good, good, good. So we didn't have to worry about, pushing this off season phase really hard because we know what my body typically does. My body typically is going to make a good composition change. No matter how high we try to push the weight, it's going to make a good composition changeover. So I think we were able to do that comfortably without stressing the body out too much. But I came more
Mm.
prepared for this because I did a little extra homework at home with the pressure from Abdullah talking about, yeah, man, yeah, just don't come small, man. Don't come small. Don't come looking like a regular person. Yeah.
'Cause I remember in previous years you've said that you go out there and you're just like you're like oh, and then you just evolve over like weeks. It's like you just transform.
Yes, sir. So yeah, it was a little bit less transformation this time, but the process is gonna happen. I'm just gonna get harder and leaner as I'm here. It's just a part of the process. No matter how much food they feed me, and no matter how much hard they put me in training, it's just that natural transition that happens once you get into this more isolated atmosphere where everything's at your fingertips pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, it's like the perfect bodybuilding environment. Like I heard Dave Palumbo on the latest Heavy Muscle Radio. He said it's just conducive to bodybuilding because you eat, sleep, train, live like a pro.
Yeah, just pretty much that's it, man. And like I said, you wouldn't believe how the restaurants around, even the gym, cater to the lifestyle. Multiple healthy restaurants, things like 4 or 5 restaurants now that you can get food by the gram, diet food by the gram, clean. So it's all these restaurants are in walking distance. So it's pretty cool. It's just it's not like anywhere in the world that I've ever been. I mean, shout out to Eat Healthy in Dubai. They helped me out when I was there, but even Dubai doesn't have as many healthy restaurants as we have in this localized area in Kuwait. So
Oh wow. Do you think that's because of the gym? Because the gym's huge, obviously. Like, is it to cater for the people who go into the gym partly?
yeah, well, the gym in itself has its own cafe. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
pretty.
true.
That's
Yeah.
that. So you can get meals in there to go meals. You can get your meals warmed up and stuff in there. So that's already catered to that. But I guess in the general area, I mean, this in Jabriya here it's always been this way because the gym has been here. This kind of I guess the kind of restaurants cater around here. I go to Grams every day. Well, here in Kuwait, man, and they have literally it's called Grams. So they take my order by the gram. I just call in. I go there and eat. So
Really?
it's great. So it's like I mean, like I said, and there's a lot of competition around, a lot of good quality competition around here too. So anywhere you step out the gym, you get your training in, whether you're going to eat in the gym, whether you're going to walk, block right across the street or whatever it may be. Just get you a good meal in. I mean, it's just the way it is
Mm.
around here. I don't know why. And even not only this gym in particular in Jabril where I am, there's some other gyms around Kuwait too that have oxygens in their locations, and it's much similar style. So
Yeah, that's cool. They're actually building some oxygen gyms out here in Australia now. There's one being built in Sydney, I think, and then there's going to be another two, I think. So they're expanding, man.
yeah,
So it seems like they're like
well,
trying to take
that's
over Dubai and everything.
I will tell you this: the ones in Australia are not official as the ones in Kuwait. Uh, I
Yeah,
even
yeah.
had
I imagine, man, the ones in Kuwait are crazy.
yeah. Well, I know Batter. I know what Batter's his projects are. So he hasn't
Yeah.
spoken to me about Australia yet. Saudi Arabia, yes. Dubai, yes. But nothing outside the Middle East quite yet. So somebody is running with the name, but that
Oh,
typically happens.
really? Oh, wow. Okay, we want to uncover something, but that's hilarious. But man, what's it? I suppose like a lot of people, have seen Kuwait, and it was obviously like there's a huge when you were winning Olympias when Rami was out there and all that sort of stuff was going on. There's a huge obviously craze about Kuwait, and people went out there and trained out there and things like that. What's it like, I suppose, being a pro there or living like a pro there? Because any top amateur could do the same sort of thing, I guess. But what's the lifestyle like? Because I know Nathan Diasha, he was like roommates with you, wasn't he, out there? And
Yeah.
solitary confinement, I don't think is Nathan as much as it is you, man. I think you can probably appreciate it more.
I mean, it's not really solitary confinement. I mean, uh, it's not really like that. I mean, it's you can be social as you want to be in Kuwait. It's a very social place, especially for the guys around the gym scene. So, I hang out with
Oh yeah.
guys and chat with guys all day, and some guys meet me for certain meals, and in the evening we talk on a regular basis. So it's a very social place. As long as you're good at making friends. But when it comes to the environment, it caters to what you need as far as training, what you need as far as food, and what you need as far as focus. Because it's not like you're gonna go out to a club or you're gonna be
Yeah.
partying a lot and whatnot. So you don't have to deal with those distractions, and there's no women in the gym, so you don't have to really deal with those distractions. So it's a different culture, so it's not as many. I mean, you can find trouble anywhere. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to work for it a little bit more out here. So it's in your best interest just to stay focused and do what you need to do. Uh, but I've seen guys come here and mess it up. I've seen guys take advantage of the food delivery cheats and everything.
Oh wow. So
Ruin their
yeah.
ruin their preparations. So you got freedom, but it's just what you choose to do with it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to drop any names? I'm guessing not.
no, 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 no. Yeah, they got most people wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Well, it's not
Yeah.
official or pro, but some of the guys. I've had a couple amateur roommates here that couldn't get it together. So
Yeah. Fair, fair. But
yeah,
man, how's the family and everything? Because obviously you're out there in Kuwait, you got your wife holding it down. It's like you were saying, it's before the interview, it's American football season now, so things are crazy. But how's the family going, and how's that, I suppose, now? Because obviously you've done this several times now. Is it getting harder later in your career, like being away from your family, or is it just sort of just like the process?
my wife says it's not any easier. For me, I don't think about it as whether it's easier or harder. I just try to do my time and accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. I just know. I just try not to overthink it. In a sense. I don't know if it's it's a lot going on as far as home. I mean, of course, I would like to be home for the American football season, and my sons in general, they are fun to watch. Definitely fun to watch, doing some
Mm.
big things. And I got my oldest boy. He's he'll be going to high school next year, but he's already getting invited to some college visits. So that's really exciting, and
Wow.
I wish I could go to stuff like that, but which I have been to a couple college visits with him, but I wish I could go to more. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see. He's my oldest boy is bigger than me. No, he may be my size. I don't know if he's quite bigger than me. He's almost there. But it's just seeing these changes and just having to watch them from away. It's one of those things. You kind of wish you were there, but it's also motivation to make sure you take care of what you take care of when you're here, because you don't want to be here wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it's about your perspective at the end of the day. I mean, life is kind of how you perceive it to be in a lot of ways, and you can focus on the negative all day, but I think that's a bit of a waste of time. So I just look into the positive things that are going on, and try to be positive as possible here, because this time goes by really fast for me. It goes by extremely
Yeah.
fast. I mean, we're already over the halfway point at this point since I've gotten here, and before I know it, I'll be leaving and I'll be headed back home. So for me, I guess my sense of time is a little bit off in ways. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because yeah, time just flies by, and I'm like, before I know it, I'm like, oh wait, back home again. Time to regroup and do what
Yeah.
I'm doing normally doing in my home spot. So I can't say it's getting any easier, but I've adapted to it over time.
Yeah. I remember it was a few years ago when you were doing the Olympia. I can't remember which year it was, but I remember you getting back to we were talking quite a bit, and you getting back to America, and like we were sending like audio messages, and you sounded like genuinely just so happy. Like I remember there was some message, I don't know, we talked about something. I think it was something on Instagram that was happening, and you and your wife were like laughing on the other end, and then I was cracking up like when we were sending voice messages. So it just seems like once you get around like your family and stuff, it's like that would be so cool. It's like cool, I get back to America. I'm doing the Olympia. I'm around my family. It's just like that'd be like the highlight of your year, pretty much. I imagine. Like,
Yeah, you learn to appreciate the little things a little bit more when you don't always have them around you. So sometimes when you have all your comforts and you have everything around, you can take things for granted a little bit easier. But when you spend time away, you tend not to do that. You tend to tend to change your perspective on those things a lot. So for me, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So hopefully I'll get back and see one of the final games of the season if they make it. Hopefully I'll be back for a bowl game that they're supposed to do in my name. So hopefully I'll catch the tail end
that's
of
cool.
some things before we go into basketball and wrestling season. So uh, yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to be back. But right now we got one mission, and that's to finish the job here and be the best physique I can be here for this 2023 Olympia.
Hell yeah, and we'll get on to that Olympia as well. But you said they named a bowl game after you. Like, what's that called? Like the Brandon Curry Mr. Olympia Bowl, or
Brandon Curry Bowl, I believe. My wife's handling the planning on that.
that's
It's
so
for
cool.
my youngest son's team. He plays 9U, so they're a travel team. So my wife decided to change the bowl game date to hopefully I can make it to a little bit later, so I can be there to hype the kids and have fun with the kids and stuff like that. Because I love their energy, and they play hard, man. They play hard, and they're a good little team.
Yeah, if anyone follows you on social media, they'll see your kids on there like pretty regularly, like going hard, like they're ridiculous. And when you look at your kids' Instagram as well, because they've even took like the highlight reels, I'm like, man, your kids are good. Like they like from a young age, they're just doing ridiculous things. So, dude, I think it's in the family, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely I got to shout out to my wife. She definitely she grew up an athlete, and she handles the bulk of the load and getting them where they need to go and making sure they stay on track. So she's helping raise these little beasts, and making sure they stay on top of what they need to do in school and in sports. So it's real good to have that support, knowing I can be gone and have them still be active and excelling in every way they can. So big shout out to her, because you know everybody's not able, of course.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's awesome. Like you guys are such a cool team. I always say it like it's like you guys seem just like you've just got that plan down pat, and like that she supports you, you support her, and it seems like it works so well. So it's really really cool. But man, there's a few things I wanted to discuss with you. You're out of a Dubai Pro this weekend, just gone. How was all that? And you was mentioning as well, like seeing the contest in person gives you such a different perspective from seeing it on the pay per view because you've seen both as well. So it's tell us a little bit about the Dubai Pro and who you saw out there and all that sort of stuff as well.
Well, the Dubai Pro was another crazy event. Dubai makes sure they have top notch events, and the Sports Council, they do a good job of helping plan the logistics of the events. And we moved into a new area of the World Trade Center this year, bigger area, because the expo was actually a bigger expo, a lot more vendors, and I'm talking about full equipment companies with equipment layouts from Panada to New Tech to
cool.
Gym 80. And they have full displays, and you got the supplement company. So it was a lot bigger expo this year. But the stage was great. It's one of the high quality, Arnold caliber, Olympia caliber type stage and lighting setups.
That's cool.
I mean, the lighting was probably some of the best lighting I've seen in person this year. And, the background was good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't too distracting away from the athletes because they had control over the LED setups. So it was just a great production, great sound. It was busy, very, very busy event. And they handed out some really, really sweet trophies to the athletes. And they were able to, they had a lot of guys participate. And I've seen a lot of good talent. One of the guys, he turned pro and he competed in 212. I don't know if I can say his name.
So did he just turn pro?
Yeah, he turned pro.
Did he just turn pro?
Yeah, at the Dubai. He turned pro that day and competed in the 212 lineup and got second. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to butcher his name, but my hat's off to him. He definitely is very, very thick. It was very close with him. Very close with him. But the thing is on the live stream view, this is what kills me about the live stream view is the high angle. The high angle, you're looking at the athlete from a flat angle, which kind of, does away with a lot of the shadowing that you see. So you don't see a lot of depth. So when you're at the show and you're sitting below the stage and you're looking up, you see so much different shadowing, so much different density and depth and separation. So I remember looking at a most muscular with the 212 category and then seeing the most muscular person. It was like, man, the guy who won that, his most muscular was crazy separation. He looked wide. He had some density, muscle maturity to that pose. But then I look at it from the live stream view and I see absolutely none of that. It didn't even look like he necessarily won the pose, so it's just it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And then there's some guys that are so much bigger when you view them from the floor. I mean, like classic physique, the guy who got second, I don't want to butcher his name either, from Brazil. He is so thick, so dense. It's almost like how did he make weight? That's what I'm questioning myself. Like everybody in the audience was like, what's this guy? What did he weigh in at? How did he make weight? Because it's just so much muscle. You're like, that can't be. He can't have made weight. But you look at the live stream and you look at it from that high angle, and he looks small. He looks way smaller than in person. It's like, oh, he looks like he's matching everybody now. How does that work? So it blows my mind. And it's before you guys that want to judge shows just purely off the live stream, man, you just can't. You just can't do it. You can't do it. That's one thing I keep learning. You just can't do it. It's just a different effect than sitting where the judges or near where the judges are sitting. Because I was sitting behind the judges. I wasn't super duper close, but I wasn't super far away either. And it was like, man, I was just amazed. I was just amazed at the difference once I got online and started going through different pictures and deciphering different things. I'm like, this is not what I saw. Like this is playing with my mind. So me and a couple guys were laughing about it all day today, and the day after. I remember discussing it with Terrence, and about the show, and he gets a bunch of backlash, of course, for winning the show. He didn't feel. I think he said this was one of the lightest he had ever been at a show, but he went in. He looked good. He didn't look like he was the lightest he ever been. So
yeah, I thought he's actually looked a bit bigger.
Yeah, he didn't look like it, and he told me, he said, "This is the lightest I've ever been," and he says, he said, but I said, but his presentation, the way he presents himself on stage, he's a master at it. You
Yeah.
can't take that away from him, man, because you just what you see, it's like impressive. And so a lot
Mm.
of people, they're going to judge the show from what they see, different snapshots and pictures and everything, and they're going to have something to say about their favorite or whoever they wanted to win. But I mean, just being there is, like I said, you should hear the talk in the audience when the people that are
Mm.
there, everybody's in the same mind state, like looking at the athletes, going, man. And with the young guy who turned pro, and he turned pro and then competed in the class. He had so much density, so much thickness for such a young athlete entering the show. But I sent him a message personally. It was like, man, all you need is more polish. He needed more. His stage game needs to be more polished, because there was some times when he
Yeah.
was relaxing in the midsection, and like I said, from that flat angle, you can't see it because he's able to hide it more with the arm from that angle. But when you're looking underneath, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he
Yeah.
was. I think that's where he was losing a lot of points, because he had good energy, good intensity on stage, but being able to focus on, because we know he can control it. We know he has control because he can do a vacuum and he can hit those shots. He
Mm.
can really pull that sucker in. But sometimes you're not aware as an athlete, especially being young, and especially he just came out of the amateurs. He hasn't mastered everything yet. So just
Yeah.
seeing that, I'm telling you, once he works on that, brings that in, he's gonna be a nice addition to the 212 class. Sky's the limit for that guy, definitely, and he's gonna be a household name for sure. So he was very
Yeah.
impressive, very impressive. I should look him up so I can say his name correctly, but I always butcher people's names.
Yeah. No, I'm not good either, dude. Like I get to some European guys' names and I'm like, oh, I just have an awkward silence. But yeah, he was
Oben,
incredible, man.
Oben,
Like
Oben Rocks, man, is his handle
Open
on
Rocks.
Instagram. So that Oben Rocks, man. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So shout out to you, Oben, man. You like I said, you impressed me, man. Definitely impressed me. Um, definitely impressed me. And let's see, making sure I ain't missing nobody.
There
Uh,
was Wesley. This is in there as well in the classic physique, and then you had Branch Chang, who he's done. I think he's got as high as fifth in the classic Olympia as well. So it was a
yeah.
stacked classic lineup there at that Dubai show.
What I noticed with Chang was his front is incredible. His front is incredible, but from the back, he kind of goes away in certain places from the back. Same thing with the Wesley, man. It's same thing from that lower back down. It's just like he's gonna need some more development there, because from the front he is so impressive, so impressive.
Yeah.
And then the guy who won the 212 is Mazin. So Mazin has one of those physiques that is man, he could play classic if he wanted, because he has those great classic lines.
Yeah, he's got a
But he
beautiful shape.
has he still has a lot of weight he can put on in that class, so he can gain that density to be competitive with those lines. So he has a bright future ahead of him, and he actually works with my coach Abdullah as well. He brought him in, like I think he picked him for this show, and I think he's gonna
Yep.
bring him in for the Olympia. So what tripped me out about him is when he was doing an interview after I got off. I got left was leaving the show, and I ran into him, and I no knew his face, but it didn't register me that was him, because he was so much shorter than he looks on stage. So much
Yeah.
shorter than he looks on stage. I mean, it really just plays with your brain, because he's segmented in a way when you look at him on stage, he looks tall, because his proportions
Yeah.
make him look like he's a taller physique, and he's in 212, so he's not really standing against tall people, but seeing him seeing him on ground level, you're like, oh man, he's way shorter than I ever anticipated he would have been, just by looking at his physique, because he's structured so well, and he flows so well.
Yeah.
So some people say that about me. They said, I thought you were taller. They say it about me. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not tall. I'm not as tall as I look on stage.
Yeah. It's funny, it goes both ways with some physiques. Like James Hollingshead, I always thought he was shorter, just because I'm like, he's so thickly, densely muscled on his upper body. I'm like, he just looks like he must be short. And then I've seen other guys, I'm like, yeah, they're like 5'11", 6 foot, and you find out they're like 5'6", and it's like that doesn't even make sense, you know. So
Exactly.
he's obviously one of
So
them.
the stage is an illusion, and it's even more of an illusion when you're in the audience, because the like I said, that live stream flat view, I love it. I love it that they're keeping uh, these live streams going, and they're putting the bodybuilding and exposing people to the updates on the shows. I love it, but I really wish they would give the live streams more of that judging angle, more of that upward looking at the angle, because
Yeah.
that would give so much better perception of what the judges actually are looking at.
Yeah, no,
You
I
know,
agree.
so
It's obviously hard, like in the Zappos theater last year with the like tiered seating and stuff, so that would be sort of difficult. But in Orlando, theoretically, they could have a lower view, you know, because it is like flat, isn't it?
yeah, it's flat, but for me, it's like where they place the camera is all the really difference. Because even when you're in
Yeah.
the audience, you're in the stadium, you still have a perception that is different from a live stream, because you can actually see in 3D. But when you're
Yeah.
looking at a screen, you just got like a 2D image pretty much. You can't see a lot of depth. So having that angle, not looking at them from a straight angle, because that angle takes away all the shadowing. It's almost like if you're like at Zappos, I believe, the lighting, instead of it pointing at the 45, one of the photographers told me they had it was more flat, because I guess the theater was catered to the magic show
Oh,
or
okay. Yeah.
whatever the guy was doing there. And I guess they didn't, and it circled around, so it went around the arena as it shaped. So that's why when the
Yeah.
guys stepped in front of each other, they shadowed each other, because the lights were coming in at angles that they probably shouldn't have been. So
Oh, okay.
that was one of the issues with that. So it's very important that these angles that you perceive the bodybuilders from, and the angles that the lighting hit, and it becomes with the perception, the depth, the conditioning. Because a lot of time, I think last year, a lot of our legs was just washed out. It just showed no depth
Yeah.
whatsoever. So it's very important for the way we look and the way we present it, and then the way the spectators are going to view us from the online perspective. Because if you want to have continual arguments all day online, that's fine. But but if you want to give these guys a real view of what the judges see, that I think it's got to be a better way. It's got to be a better way, in my opinion.
Yeah, and,
So
and we get to see, fortunately, man, like we've got Gilco out there who has that sort of more of a judge's spot where he shoots from,
yeah, that's
and
the
it's high
best.
quality stuff. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the best.
I say about him, man, he's revolutionizing bodybuilding, because now there's other people that do the similar thing as well. So he's like people in Europe. There's a guy called, I think it's like More Photo. He does a really good job
Yeah,
as well. And it's like, he's seeing it from a judge's angle. I'm like, can we get this set up for the live stream just wide? You know what I mean? Like the
yeah.
same sort of angle, like similar sort, even if it's not the exact same quality, if it's like somewhat similar, like I'm sure
They
there's a
should just
way
put
of
that.
doing it, man.
They should put that live stream camera right on the judging tables. Just right
Yeah, yeah.
there.
You get to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just open it up, and then have an alternate camera they can switch to for some different views. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly right, man. Gilco, they're right. Their team is right there on the floor with the steady cam, just moving around, catching the different angles, but they're looking up at the athlete from the floor view, and at high quality HD, 4K, 8K maybe. I don't even know, but man,
Mm.
it's incredible shots. No athlete looks better than that from that perspective. No athlete looks better than from that perspective. So that's why those guys are. Everybody loves to get some footage from those guys if they ever get footage from anybody, because like I guess they know what to look for, and even some of the angles that are not directly on, they still give you a perception of the density of the athlete from a certain angle. It's just so, and the conditioning from a certain
Yeah.
angle. It's just so exciting, and I think the fans need more of that.
Yeah, it makes my life easy, man, when I'm covering shows. Then I can just get the guys, go boom, 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 like sweet. You can see them all together now. Like, even though it's not true perspective because they're not standing side by side on stage, you still get a much better idea sometimes than the live stream. At least you can go, okay, here's the live stream, a couple clips or screen captures, and then here's what Gilco put out, and you can have a better idea. You got more to go off,
Yeah, Hey, what kills me though? What kills me though is when the guys film the live stream from a camera on the television because they're
Look how
like
good he
filming
looks. It's like pixelated.
no, they filming the television, but like if you don't center the camera right,
Oh yeah,
just
you
like in
can
the
out angle
auditorium,
people. Yeah,
like all the guys over here are tall. You like all the guys over here are tall, and and then it just goes down in steps, and it's like because the angle's
yeah.
off, and then it's always way darker for the darker athletes in this, so you can't even make out any detail. Because I'm like, why are they filming the TV? That's not the best. I know they're trying to get content. I understand, but filming the TV, it's just so it warps everything. So it's just always
Yeah,
funny to
exactly.
see.
All you need to be off. Like I know just from like when I set my camera up and stuff, man. It's like you set it slightly off, and it's like you're on this angle all of a sudden, and you look
Yeah,
stupid or whatever. And so it's like that slight tilt. Like if you film a TV like this, then
yeah.
this person's legs look huge, and but their upper bodies over here look tiny. You know, like I actually found. I found on the live stream, man, last year, Big Ramy, like it actually wasn't centered perfectly. So it was like Big Ramy was always on the far side. I felt like he got a raw deal with so many of those call outs because I'm like, for the
Oh
live stream,
man.
he looks the smallest in the distance. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't tell, I can't tell what's going on with him. I'm like, that's what the only reason I thought, I'm like, is he winning and he's really good? Because I can't really see him. I'm like, he looks in condition, but yeah, I was solidly confused with that whole thing. But yeah, obviously, we know what happened in the end anyway. He placed fifth, and
Right.
hopefully we get to see him back next year, man. Would you like the opportunity to go up against Rami, another time?
Oh man, I got a chance to talk to Rami this weekend, and it's always good to see Rami. Man, he was in good spirits, and so I had a conversation with him about it. It's like, you got to take care of yourself, do your thing. He said he needed to rest, so he has to do what he has to do. But he loves to compete, man. He loves to compete. That's what he loves to do. So I know he'll be back, and it's always a pleasure to compete with Rami, man. I mean, he's one of those guys that's challenged me the most, and he's just a good dude, man. He's a good dude, man. I like Rami a
Mm.
lot. So whenever I see him, it's all smiles, it's all love. So I hope he comes back if that's what he wants to do, and I hope he's able to take care of what he needs to take care of. So yeah, all the best to you, Rami, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, he's awesome. And he actually did some predictions. I just put him out in a video on the channel for the Olympia because obviously he's not competing in it. And Bob Chicarelli really pushed him. He's like, give us your top three in no order. And he's like, oh, can I say top four? And then he put you in there. So he
Yeah,
put you, Derek, who else? Hardy, and I'm trying to think now. I've got it written down here. And Samson in the top four. What do
yeah.
you think about that in terms of a top four? Because that's probably going to be a pretty popular sort of top four that people are going to predict. There's obviously as well, Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada, Andrew Jack as well. But how do you think you match up, man, at the 2023 Olympia? Because there's a lot of people that have, either written you off or have you placing outside the top five. And I'm like, Brandon hasn't finished outside. Well, we didn't finish outside the top two for 3 years in a row, then finished fourth. And I'm like, I've seen people predict you outside the top five. So how do you think you match up, and what do you think about people putting you low?
I think I think Rami is pretty close. I think that's pretty reasonable to think and consider. It's gonna be. I mean, Nick of course could be swapped in with anybody in there, so that's just the
Mm,
nature of it. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Hunter is very capable, but like I said, I don't. I'm not gonna throw him in that mix yet. He still has to prove that at this point. And for me, people placing me lower than the top five, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, predictions are just predictions at this point.
yeah,
That doesn't really bother me at all. Even if I even pay attention to predictions, which I don't really pay attention to predictions as much at all. If I wanted to, I guess if I wanted to pay attention to predict, I've been in this game too long to be offended
yeah.
by opinions
To
at
know
this
it doesn't
point. I
matter.
mean, I'll just be honest. I'll be honest. I mean, at this point, I guess I don't know if I'm so callous. I don't get my feelings involved in all the build up into the Olympia. If they talk about me, if they don't talk about me, it's okay. Yeah. But if they talk about me good or talk about me bad, at least I'm relevant enough to talk about, I guess, at some point. At the end of the day. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like at the end of the day, the internet's job is to talk about, critique, and make their predictions. That's the job. That's the thing. That's around what the sport is revolves around on the build up of the events. So I mean that's normal. You can either I guess weigh that with some heavyweight, or you can just totally just say that's just a part of it, and this is part of the process, the fans' involvement, and that's what they like to do. And I mean, I'm glad they like to do that. I mean, nothing wrong with that at all. It's just
Yeah.
at least it used to be only the magazines that kind of had the role in making the predictions and doing all that. And typically, if you were signed
Yeah.
with the magazine, they will predict you a little bit better than maybe the other magazine that you wasn't signed with. So it was like that. So, but now everybody can be involved, and you got true experts and you got true novice, and they can all share their opinions, right?
Exactly. And predictions are just that. It's just predictions. It doesn't matter. It's just fun. It's like, I
It's
mean,
fun. Yeah, it's
obviously,
fun.
yeah. Depends who they're coming from as well. Like when Nick Walker makes a prediction of a top three of the Olympia and doesn't think, will say one thing or the other, then it makes more news. You know what I mean? Like then that's a bit like people take those to heart. But really, outside of someone who's competing in the show or something making some bold predictions, it doesn't really matter.
My predictions last year were so off and so absurd. I think they talked about it for 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, I knew that was going to happen because I didn't take my prediction serious, so I didn't really care. I just got tired of hearing the same stuff all the time, so I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. So just give somebody something else to talk about. Otherwise
Yeah,
everybody's going to be
exactly.
talking about the same thing over and over again. So yeah, sometimes if you ask me my predictions, maybe I haven't been creative enough at this point to make any special predictions. Uh, I don't know. I don't think I've been paying enough attention, to be honest. But catch me a little bit later. Maybe I'll come up with something to have everybody talking about.
Yeah, nice, nice. You have to tag me in on it, man, or something, or whatever. But let's talk a little bit about, I suppose, the 2023 Mr. Olympia, like the result. You know what I mean? So obviously, if you're to come back and win it, that would be an epic story. You'd be you and Jay Cutler, and I don't even know who else has actually
That's it.
lost the title and
That's
come back
it.
and won it. That's it. Yeah.
Yes,
So
Jay. Yeah.
that that would be incredible. Obviously, it would just you've already, you're one of how many men now? 17 men, 16 men, whatever it is at the moment that have
Yeah.
won the Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia.
17.
So no matter what, you've got that legacy there. But what would it mean to you to win the 2023 or any Mr. Olympia going forward?
I think it'd be cool. It'd be pretty awesome because oh, my wife's calling me. Let me message her real quick. I'm working.
No worries. I won't hold you up too much longer.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. No big deal. But it'd be pretty awesome to actually knowing that I could lose the title, not have it for uh, several years and then get back. I mean, that'd just be cool. That'd just be uh, pretty awesome. But for me, I'm still enjoying the sport. It's not necessarily the all end all be all. It's not do or die on that. But I still think I could be competitive, and I still think I'm capable of winning. So why not, right? Why not? Why not give it a shot? So I think it would be like it would be a surreal moment. Definitely be a blessing, and hopefully it will be motivating for a lot of the guys that go through their down times and question whether they're still capable. Uh, you know, yeah, you're still capable. Just put in the work, enjoy what you do, and just make the most out of what you're doing. The sport changes. I've seen the sport change around me over the years as I was coming out of the magazine era to the social media era. Now we got a new crop of guys coming in, being competitive, new faces in the industry. So everything's changing, but to still be able to be relevant and in the mix and possibly capitalize on another title would be great. It'd be awesome. So, um, I'm going to control all the factors that I can control. And whatever whatever will happen, and I'll be there to see it and enjoy it and embrace it and learn from it. So that's. I'm just looking forward to the Olympia. I'm looking forward to spending time with all the guys and just seeing what they bring, how they developing, and being able to push each other, to the limit. So that's what's fun. That's what's fun about it. Because I respect everybody. We all put our work in. We're all trying to master this game and master our bodies, and uh, and it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us. And we do it for the fans, and we do it because we love the sport, and, it's a pretty cool thing when you think about it. It's a pretty cool thing. So just being a part of it, just being able to say I've been to the mountaintop, it's spectacular. And if I can get there again, oh, it's so sweet.
I love that, man. So you can win.
Yes, of course I can win. Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, I think this year, the dynamics it caters more to my style of bodybuilding. I think so. For me, this is an exciting year for me, and that's why I don't mind when people count me out because I think this year caters more into the advantages I have as an athlete in the sport. So uh, we're just gonna let that play out and celebrate no matter what.
Yeah, man. I cannot wait to see it, bro. Like, it's going to be a very, very exciting Olympia, and it's something that we haven't seen. I mean, we've seen it last year, and it's sort of been trending that way the last couple of years, but it seems like there's a wider group of guys that can win the Olympia now, or at least can challenge for the Olympia. It's traditionally been, back in the day, it was Jay and Ronnie, and then it was Kai and Phil, and then it was, obviously just gone through his transitions. Obviously, Sean Roden, but now it seems like it's like from being one, two, three guys that can win the Olympia, it's like six or seven. It's just,
Yeah,
how does
yeah,
that feel, man?
yeah.
Like, does that make it more exciting for you?
It does make it more exciting. It makes it more exciting because it's just basically, who's on top of that game that day. It can be any man's day, and I think that's what's the most exciting thing is. Nobody's going in. I think I presume nobody's going into the Olympia already defeated. You know, or looking. Nobody in that is predicted in that top five is going in thinking they can't win or they're gonna have to settle for this. I think every guy's going in with the mindset that yeah, this could be mine. This could be mine that day. So it's just whoever comes in best that day is going to be the guy who reigns supreme, and that's always a cool thing, man. That's always a cool thing when it's that competitive. It's good for the fans, you know. It's good. It's good for pushing us. So I know I can't imagine how it was in King Ronnie days, showing up at the Olympia. I
Just
can't
seeing him
imagine.
backstage in 2003.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Another year you showing up at the Olympia. You're like, okay, well, we know. Let's see if I can just at least crack this top five. Let's see if I can at least,
Mm.
what I'm saying. Nobody's really
Man,
thinking about winning except maybe Jay here and there. So it's like, man, that had to be crazy. But nobody's going into the Olympia like with that kind of feeling. There's a lot of new
mm,
excitement. Guys are continuing to improve, and you can see that some guys are, starting to really just reach that peak. So we just got to see how it plays out. So it's fun, and but like I said, this is a show of on the day. All the predictions, all the updates, all these things are great. But at the end of the day, whatever you bring to the stage is the only thing that matters. Only thing that
that's it,
matters.
man.
So
We've seen it before, man. Like, we've seen, guys not get predicted to win. Like, I don't know. I don't think even you were. Oh, you were probably the favorite in 2019, but you see Sean Roden went the year he won. People forget, like, before that Olympia, no one was predicting Sean Roden. Like, he was, people were like, he's going to drop out of the top five, and then he comes in and wins it. I'm like, it makes it that much cooler when people aren't predicting you and you come in and shock everyone. Like, and I
yeah,
think
man.
that it would be like that, even though people shouldn't be shocked if you win this year. It's still, I think, to some people, it would be a shock because you had that one year last year where you dropped back two spots compared to the years
Yeah.
prior. So I think it's set up to be a very nice story.
Yeah, I'm all about the shock and awe. So if you're looking for some shock and awe, you know, wait and see. Wait and see.
I love it, man. I want to thank you so much, man, for coming on here once again. I want to give you a chance to thank your sponsors and thank anyone you want to thank before we wrap it up.
Well, you know who holds me down. I got my Tech shirt on. I got my supplements over there, as always. Yeah, taking these right here. Always good. Supplements always around. Gorilla Wear, of course. You know, we got Oxygen Gym taking care of me. Chic. Shout out to my coaches, Abdullah, Armour. Uh, great team around me, man. These guys are high energy. Keep me focused. Uh, keep analyzing me, man. They want the best for me. So it's always good to have guys around you like that. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my gym family, Carbon Culture, Carbon Performance. Shout out to you guys. I don't want to forget anybody. Trifecta, you know, with the food, Grams with the food while I'm here. You know, got to feed the beast for sure. And like I said, all the fans, man, all the fans have been supporting me, and the friends have been supporting me over the years. Yeah, you guys are great with the messages. All the people that are even questionable on my page, I'm often amused when I want to amuse myself. I'm often amused by some of the questionable comments and stuff like that. And why do nobody think my updates are real, bro? Why do nobody think my updates are real? Did you get that? Did you get that update, by the way? Well, that
Yes, I did. Yeah. I'll see if I can pull it
7
up.
week out update. 7 week out update.
Yeah, I got that.
Maybe
I think I downloaded it.
that's
Wait, hold on.
yeah. That's not that long after the last update. I say it's almost in the same week frame, but you can see it.
Let
You
me
can see a
check.
difference.
Here it is. Hopefully the audio doesn't muck up my audio. Let me know if it does, but it should.
It may. It just be
Oh,
armor.
no, it's not working for some reason. So it looks
Oh,
like the video doesn't have a video
see.
track. I'll post it up
We
on
almost.
the desktop bodybuilding IG if you let me.
I may let you do it. I may let you do it. But yeah, just tell me
Awesome,
what you
awesome.
think. Tell me what you think. Send me a message. Everybody's gonna think this is this week, but it's not this week, or it's old. You know how they go with me. They never know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I guess you know I'm in the same spot. They can't trust it, so it's always fun. And then
Old
I know
footage,
my
old
coach.
footage.
I know my coach does play a little bit more. He plays with the minds of people sometimes, so you know I don't blame the guys. You know, I don't blame them. It's okay. But
But we
much
have
love to you
confirmation
guys.
from you though. It is recent.
Yeah, yeah. Much
Yeah.
love to you guys, man, and all the desktopers out there. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys, and like I say, this is gonna be fun. Rest of the prep, God willing, and you know we'll get over to the states and get settled in and ready for a show in Orlando.
Man, cannot wait. Obviously, be covering it here on Desktop Bodybuilding, so I can't wait to keep up with it all and see how you're looking and do all the live streams and all that sort of stuff. But man, thank you so much for doing this. It's much appreciated taking your time out of your Olympia prep. We're 5.5 weeks out now, so yeah, it's going to be exciting. So everyone tune in to Brandon Curry on his social media. I'll put all the links in the description below, and obviously subscribe and click the notification bell button for Desktop Bodybuilding. So for myself, Xavier Wills, and Brandon Curry, your 2019 Mr. Olympia, and hopefully your 2023 Mr. Olympia, we are out. Thanks for watching this one-on-one interview, and if you did enjoy it, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button for more one-on-one interviews, contest coverage, bodybuilding news, plus much more. Anyway guys, that's it for myself, Xavier Wills here at Desktop Bodybuilding. I'm Xavier Wills, this is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.